latest and greatest from Kawasaki. Hey, what's up guys, Rado here with Jay, and today we have something pretty exciting because this is latest and greatest from Kawasaki, right? Jay, can you tell us a little more about this bike?
So it's a 21 KX250. They dropped the F, so no more F. They figure you know it's a 4-stroke. They haven't made a 2-stroke since like 06 or 07. Somebody will correct
That's
it.
a very smart move, huh? Just dropping the F.
Yeah, but I still like it. But anyway, so I'll still probably call it a KX250F. But so KX250, 21, and I already did a video for my guys, and then Rado was like, hey, I haven't rode a Kawasaki like hardly at all.
Yeah, you know, this is actually a second Kawasaki in my entire life that I rode. The first one was 450 like 3 years ago. And actually I'm recovering from a crash. I crashed last week here on the main track. I was thinking I'm already good enough for main track, apparently not. So I crashed there, but I didn't want to pass the opportunity to ride this 2021. So here I am. We're going to do some riding today and just talk more about the bike. So what else is new about this Kawi?
Okay, so this bike is all new. It has for 21, and it's been getting little updates, but the bike's been behind a little bit compared to the other 250Fs in this class. And honestly, I'll already tell you that most of the updates they've done, this bike is right in there with any of the other bikes in this class now. It's right up there close to the...
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I think any of those bikes, the Yamaha, the KTM Husky, Honda, you're all going to be really close. And what I talked about is if you have a good Kawasaki dealer, then that's where the route you want to go, you know, where you live. I think you're going to be just fine with this bike. Now, what the main things they did is they switched the chassis to the KX450 chassis. So the plastic, all that fits off of a KX450.
Oh, okay.
So the chassis, the frame, all that is all just like the KX450. But one thing they did that's different is the suspension is KYB, not Showa. The 450 has Showa. This has KYB. And so far, I think it's pretty amazing. So when I drove home the first day after riding at Glen Helen, I called Race Tech, and I'm like, this stuff feels like as good as the Yamaha stuff. They're like, it's very similar to the stock Yamaha stuff. And I think
that's cool.
All I've done is like 3 clickers stiffer. And I guess for this year compared to last year they went to these newer forks and shock. And I went 3 clicks stiffer in the forks, and that's it. They went softer on the springs this year than last year, on the fork springs. And I think it's pretty good for me, and I'm way over the weight for what this bike's targeted for. So I think it's a pretty good ride. I think if there's a smaller guy, like a 130-pound kid, they're going to want to probably soften it up a little bit. So this is a great bike for a kid or for that guy who doesn't want to go too fast. I'm a big fan of 250Fs, but since I have the resources, you know, I like to modify them and make them faster. this thing's really good stock. Now, it does have little couplers to change the mapping. It doesn't have a map switch over here like a lot of some of the other bikes do. It has launch control, that's it.
Oh, that's same stuff that Suzuki has, right?
Yeah, no switching the maps. So
the maps.
you have to do the couplers, which we'll have a picture of, and we switch the couplers. The stock one's green, the white one is a little bit more aggressive, a little more top, and the black one's mellower. I don't know why you'd ever want mellower on a 250. They say, oh, it's hard pack or whatever. If it's that hard pack, I'm just not going to ride. I would just go home. So I'm kind of spoiled that way. So, and then we got a custom map from the guys at Kawasaki. They mapped it at the track at Glen Helen, and they put their custom map in, and it's a lot better. Okay. It feels a lot more powerful.
How can the average guy get the custom map from Kawasaki?
So you can, I have the maps, so I can show you. You can post them. They have no problem showing them. The problem is the tuning tool is like $700-800 or something. It's kind of expensive.
Do you think the dealer can do it for them?
If the dealer has the tool, which not every dealer has. So if they have a good dealer, yes. If they go to a race where Team Green is, they could do it. If they send their box to like Pro Circuit or Twisted Development, those kind of guys, they would be able to map it for them. They're going to charge them, of course, to do that. So I think an improved map definitely helps the power a little bit. I don't see any downside to it. So they increased ignition and fuel, so you can see it's a lot richer in those settings. So that's a big thing. Of course, the big news is electric start. I mean, that button is cool. You've gotten to where you like that a lot. You riding a bike last year without electric start, it's not that bad, but it's sure nice having it.
It's easy to get spoiled. Let's put it that way, And then another thing that is pretty cool for a Japanese bike is that it comes with hydraulic clutch, huh? Yeah. This is the only Japanese 250 on the market currently that has hydraulic clutch, right?
Correct. So, I mean, the KTM and Husky have had it for a long time, and we've loved it. And not only that, it's went to hydraulic clutch, really nice setup, and has a single bevel spring inside the clutch pack, not 5 or 6 springs around. Yeah. So it's a lot better. It seems very
KTM
durable.
style, right? They have
KTM
it the
style.
way.
They don't want to say they don't call it KTM style, but it's similar to the KTM.
That's what we have on KTMs. Yeah.
And so I think the clutch is a lot better. I was hammering this clutch at Glen Helen and some deep stuff, just fanning the thing, and it felt great. So it comes with good Dunlop tires. The suspension's really good. With the rider position I feel really comfortable on the bike right away. I don't know how you felt. That I felt really comfortable.
We already rode it. Jay has a lot of time on it. Had it on Glen Helen here at Kauai main track, and I was on a wet track today. Not riding a lot, but enough to get a good feel for the bike. And honestly, I like it. It runs good, stock. The way it is right now, the suspension is, as Jay mentioned, really good. And I'm also a heavier guy. I'm 200 or 205 right now, so a little bit heavier than an average maybe teenager that might ride bike like this. But felt really good, and the power, I just loved it. It's really nice running bike. I didn't feel like it's having some kind of insufficiencies in the mid or top. It was pulling nicely. So, man, I think they did a great job. Like, my feel was really very positive. What do you think?
Oh yes, I'm really pleased with the bike. I was really impressed. I rode these bikes around 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. I rode them a few years, and they were great bikes. But they just in the last few years hasn't been on par with everything else. Another thing they did with this one is they increased the rev limit, so you can actually keep it pegged a little bit longer like you would a KTM, where it revs out a little harder like the Honda. So that's nice. I was short shifting it a little bit when I first got on it. Now I learned you can leave it in the gear a little bit longer. And so that was good. The bike is heavier with the electric start, the having a battery.
Right.
And one thing on the battery is a regular size battery like the KTM, which is nice. Some of the other bikes have a custom battery. It's very expensive. So this nice, it's a regular size, like same size as the KTM, what it looks like. So that isn't going to be real expensive to change when you have to change out the battery. So that's a nice feature that I really like.
Yeah. Would it be cool to get this bike for a long-term review?
Yeah, so we'll try to get some more time on it this year, see what kind of little mods we can do, but to put some time on it and let everybody see how long it goes. But I don't think anybody's going to go wrong with this bike. If you're a Kauai fan and you've been waiting for them to get a little bit more on par in the 250s, and if you're a vet guy, this is a great bike for a vet guy. Now, if you're racing vet classes, those guys are going to want a 350 or 450 power for the start and stuff. But if you're just having fun, plenty of good bike, I think, for most vet guys.
Yeah, exactly. I was on a vet, even a little bit injured, and I had a good time. Could clear everything over there, and it really felt good. It doesn't feel too heavy. It's 250, so you don't really feel like you're fighting a lot of bike, even though it might be a couple pounds more heavier because it has a battery and starter. But in my hands it felt really good, and just for guys like me, and I think a bunch of you guys probably are on the same level as me riding on a track, I think this kind of 250 will do everything you need it to do. So definitely an interesting bike to look at.
They added a off-road version, which isn't very off-road.
Right.
They just did a little bit. They left the stock size tank, which isn't really much off-road.
Yeah.
And they put an 18-inch rear wheel and a kickstand. So if a guy isn't and wants a Kawi 250, that's something to consider. If you're not going to be going to the track, you could still get one with an 18-inch rear wheel and kickstand, which I think is a lot better for a lot of guys. A lot of guys that are only going to the track 10% of the time or something, and riding at their property or a lot of trails.
Do you know what's the difference in the price there? Like maybe $300-$400?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's very much. I think it's pretty small. It's a little bit more because of those features, but
it's probably less than if you would have gone off the market and get all these things for the bike, right?
Correct. So
cool.
I think so that's an option for guys that want to get the X version. They can be a little bit off-roady, and I think be just fine. I do think, I kind of wish that they made an off-road version that was more true off-road, like more like an FX, where it has a different tranny, bigger tank. Those features would give it more in a skid plate, and hand guards, all that kind of stuff that would make it more off-road.
Well, but it's a good beginning. Let's see, maybe in 2022 they'll come with something little different. So let's see. We are definitely happy to see something new on the market. The X is here, so more bikes to choose from. All right, guys, I think that's about it for this video. We are really happy, me personally, finally be on the 250 KX. This is the first time in my life and it felt really good, and hopefully we can get it for a longer review, get more time on this bike, and then we can come back and share a little more insight here. Thanks for watching. Jay, do you have something else to add?
Yeah, just whatever you do, stay motivated.
That's right. See you guys later.